What's up? What's up? This is Zach Osborne. You're listening to the MotoXPod show.
I'm Justin Barsha, and you're listening to the MotoXPod show.
What's up, guys? We are back. I'm Darkside, and this is the Vital MX MotoXPod show presented by Racetech and Boyson. We're excited to spotlight Boyson Factory Racing's Rider Support Program, a comprehensive support system for motocross and off-road riders. The program offers participants exclusive access to Boyson's products, yearly discounts, and the potential to become one of their new product development test riders. Join the community of Boyson Factory Flyers. Visit boyson.com to apply today. In studio with me once again, he runs Vital MX. He tells me and Lewis what we need to be doing. He's a butthole sometimes.
And Michael.
No, Michael, no!
Michael Lindsay. What's going on, man?
I can't run crap. I can't even figure out how to get this TV turned on properly. And
Hey.
if you haven't noticed, Lewis doesn't pay attention to what I say. I don't run this.
Yeah, we've got a lot. Hang on, Lewis. Just hang on. We have a lot. Some
See, he
technical
just wants to jump the
We
gun.
have technical difficulties. A lot of new equipment with the show over the last couple of weeks. We're still trying to figure some things out. So you guys just bear with us. But also here with me, my friend
Sexton Ship.
Nothing's working properly. Lewis Phillips.
Hello. Off the back of Michael holding us back horrifically on this show, we're proud to announce that me and my friend Jamie will be starting the Siding with Lewis podcast.
I want to do that intro again since it started early.
Ultimately, I've decided on the Sexton Ship. Life on the Sexton Ship is sweet. Happy. It's like happy pills.
Yes, you were very happy after
There may
this
be a
weekend.
burst pipe because we're all so happy that it may not be completely kosher.
The burst pipe may make the Sexton ship sink.
No,
Okay.
just the fumes are making us all very excited.
Well, look, we're fresh off San Diego. I want to get your guys' thoughts on the event as a whole. Michael, I'm going to go to you first. New stadium, Snapdragon Stadium, a minimalistic stadium.
Yeah, pretty basic college stadium. The field size is actually pretty good, but it doesn't take long to walk around the place. Not a lot to it. I don't know. Overall, okay. Pits are better than Petco by quite a bit. I think it's easier to get to. The parking's better, but stadium's pretty basic. Doesn't have the same vibe once you're in it, like Petco had.
Lewis, what did you think of it? It was basically reminded me of Salt Lake City or Vegas a little bit, just a college stadium, basically.
Yeah, I've been to Sam Boyd. I've never been to Salt Lake City. It didn't give me American Supercross vibes. I don't know why. Maybe just because I don't associate it with American Supercross. Obviously, you see the big A at Angel Stadium and you think Supercross. You see Snapdragon, you think something else. I did, to get myself in the mood though, I did start to imagine what had taken place on the land previously with Qualcomm.
Yes.
And that did get the juices flowing a little bit. So I feel like maybe they should have played that up a little bit more, actually.
He really wanted them to just play clips from 2005 San Diego on the screen. That actually would have made him happier than any of the racing we saw.
Well, we have some news on that front, and we're going to get to that in a little bit on the Boyson Intake open discussion.
Oh, okay.
But we're sticking with San Diego. Mm-hmm. Once again, no press day riding. Not even an official press day. There were some people there. You were a little fired up on that, Lewis.
No, I need press day because that's how I make friends. How else am I supposed to connect with people if I don't have press day? It's literally got press in the title. It's made for me.
That is true. You did make some friends, though, I think, Friday. You walked around. You got there. You were a little bit perturbed that the factory pits were as far away from the stadium as possible.
Yeah, I was confused. I was new stadium. I was lost.
Yeah.
I was stood in the pits, and then my friend Jamie was waving at me, and I was like, oh, finally, someone I know. And I walked up to my friend Jamie, and I said to my friend Jamie, where am I supposed to go? Like I was like, I'm lost. I'm like a lost child. Please, someone call my mum. And then Jamie, being the
Your friend, Jamie.
being the strange man that he is, took in this lost child and directed me in a correct
Correct
direction.
direction. Yeah.
Isn't that your goal in life? You're just the lost child you hope people will take in.
Jamie just coerced me into the back of his van.
Oh, wow.
Oh, I did have a moto van that most people called that don't ride moto. They also called it the rape van back home. So yeah.
Oh, but no, I obviously the pit
There was no
setup,
raping going on, by the way.
the pit setup.
Thank you for clarifying.
The pit setup was a lot better than Petco. Petco, when you're sat in a press box or in the stands and you're looking out, Petco has a bit of a magical vibe to it. Whereas I enjoyed the backdrop of Snapdragon with the hills and stuff. I thought that looked cool. But yeah, as you said, Snapdragon was very basic.
Yeah,
and I
open
also
air.
felt like the track was basic too. For,
I thought it was funny. I watched it back on the plane last night, and they just kept talking about how busy it was, which it was busy, but it still felt basic at the same time, Michael. Like I don't know like what that was.
I think busy in the sense of a lot of changing direction, of course, but everything that changed direction, a couple of the riders I talked to said, yeah, whenever you would make a move, the way the track laid out pretty much put you in a position where you'd get cleaned out in the next corner. So every time I saw somebody make a pass, I will say, I don't know, I guess in some sense you would call this good racing, but in other sense not, is every time somebody made a move, somebody would basically get them back within a corner or two. So it made for not very many real position changes throughout the race.
Yeah, I'd be interested to what they called it a sold out. It was sold out. That's what they said on their show, but there was a whole lot of empty seats.
did you think so?
Yeah,
I
there
didn't-
was rows and
I
rows
didn't
of
see
seats.
many
Just
empty seats.
little sections. The problem is, think every time they've ever said sold out, you go to Anaheim 1, they say sold out.
Yeah.
You look around, you can find empty seats.
But there was rows like right below the press box, like
Yeah,
full
those
row,
little far
rows
sections.
empty.
But I mean, I think they probably, because of scalpers, they probably actually did
sell out,
Sell
yeah.
out. But that's also the one bright side with that being a smaller stadium. Once you get into the mid 30,000s, like it's pretty guaranteed you're gonna get it more packed. Where Petco has been a little empty in sections the last
Yep.
couple years. At least better than Oakland. I think Oakland might have had like 9,000 people last year. It was terrible.
Lewis, how happy were you with opening ceremonies? A little better than A1. Still, maybe some bugs to work out.
Just quickly on what he said, Snapdragon Stadium has a capacity of 35,000.
Yep.
Petco Park has 42,000. So not that big a difference. 7,000 people, not that big a deal. Opening ceremonies was definitely a lot better. I saw some people say that it was still rushed, but I felt like it was normal opening ceremonies.
I did too.
Maybe the riders could have had a little longer. Like you couldn't really figure out what song they were coming out to because it was quite snappy still.
Yeah, your guy Adam said that Monday on Pulp that I had like 7. They asked him about did you use "Damn It" by Blink 182 again. He goes, "Oh, they picked a song for me, but it doesn't matter. I only got like 7 seconds anyway." So he definitely noticed it was rushed for those guys.
And I would still like I remember Adam's first year in 450s, his opening ceremonies video was really good.
Right.
So I'd like that back.
Yep.
Like, let's not even make a new one. Let's just use the one that we had before. But still, no, opening ceremonies was definitely a lot better. But on the whole, opening ceremonies, weather, press day, I feel like I'm still waiting for Supercross to start.
I feel you. I feel that too. A few more explosions and lasers this week, but still not what I want. I want monster girls with flamethrowers, and
I wouldn't go that far.
I want the videos. I want all the top 10 to have a video that's 10 seconds, 15 seconds. I think that's part of the show. I remember getting in like a legit fight with my ex-wife because she made me miss opening ceremonies getting ready. And I was furious because that was such a big part of the show for me, especially pre-media days.
Yeah. So, same with me. Like Calvin Vlanderen was in Anaheim 1, and I was texting him, "You need to be in the stadium by 6:40. Like you cannot miss this."
Right.
Jeremy Sewer was in San Diego. Same thing. 6:40. Get yourself in that. Like because I feel passionate that everyone else should enjoy.
Yes.
The true. Okay. The racing is racing at the end of the day. I feel like opening ceremonies encapsulates what AMA Supercross is.
I agree. I 100% agree. And I want to say thank you for introducing me to Sewer. Oh, wait, you didn't.
Sewer.
I don't know how to introduce myself or other people.
I sat right next to him, and I was waiting on Lewis to say, "Hey, this is my friend Jamie."
I don't
Didn't
know
happen,
how. I don't
Michael.
know how to
He
make
doesn't know how to
introductions.
introduce himself or anything. He doesn't.
Yeah, it was awkward.
I had fun.
I'm glad you did. Michael, how about the racing itself? A little bit single file, But there was a lot of things happen. I mean, there were some guys like Stilez coming on tonight. He came from the back in the main event after the issue in the first turn and rode pretty well. Like there was passing happening, not maybe with the leaders, but there was a lot of racing going on in the mid pack.
Well, especially it's kind of funny. I think back of the whole night is I felt like the heat racing had better racing, like more passes in heat races, because there was a lot of them that me and Lewis are watching. We were commenting how aggressive the guys were being in the heat race trying to make moves.
Yeah, but Kitchen was being aggressive with Pierce, but he didn't make a move.
But like watching Volden guys, where I'm
Malcolm
saying also
went forward, but
Yeah,
still,
but-
apart from that, like Roxon stayed where he was. AC stayed where he
Volden
was.
coming through multiple times with issues, but
Right.
250s you had guys with bad starts moving through, where mains were just like
Yeah, but
single
I
file.
think 250 heat races, you have guys coming through because
Yeah.
in a 250 heat race, especially,
there's
it
a
is so
big
weak
gap. Yeah.
that if you are a fifth place rider and you start 10th, you can hop your way into
Yeah.
the top 5 quite easily.
No, and that's what I'm getting at. Like heat racing was good because of that, but mains are fall around. 250 class is mellow, but I did enjoy the 450 class. Other than it also made made the main feel really long. Like watching the Barsha Kenny Sexton train, it felt like it took forever because I was just watching them lap after lap. Like something's gonna happen.
Waiting for something to happen.
I can't blink.
Yeah.
I can't move away. Something is gonna happen amongst these three, and I can't even tell you what it's gonna be. And it just never produced.
I enjoyed the clinic that Chase Sexton put on in the LCQ. That was a very enjoyable 4 minutes. I think that was the highlight of the night.
Was tense.
I feel like
I think I made a
Hence.
joke like, what if he doesn't make it? And he just thought I was
I punched Jamie in the
insane.
throat. I picked him up and almost
Just
threw
like-
him out of the press box.
you
just
Stank
like
Dog?
Stank did to Cade Clayson. Hey, a reminder, this is the Vital MX MotoXPod show, episode 256. Tonight we have Stilez Robertson and Dean Wilson coming on. Also brought to you by Racetech. Racetech is the world's largest aftermarket motorcycle suspension modification company with over 35 years of providing factory-level suspension to the everyday rider. If you guys are in Colorado, you need to reach out. Go to racetech.com to find your closest Racetech center. And if you're in the Colorado area, check out Applied Technology. Owner Tyler Sutherland previously worked in-house at Racetech on the R&D team, and he is still a full-time employee of the Colorado branch. So Racetech, guys, get your suspension serviced, change your fluids. If you start getting better, you're getting faster, you go get the gold valves put in like I had on my bikes. I'm not really getting faster. I just wanted to say I had gold valves, but they work amazing. Racetech.com. Find your local service center. Appreciate them being on board. Anything else on San Diego stand out that you guys want to touch on?
I'm waiting for Supercross to start.
A2, round 4.
In a strange way, I'm almost disappointed that it's a Triple Crown this weekend.
Really?
Because I still want that traditional Supercross night
Yeah.
that is full of excitement and twists and turns. I don't want it to be manufactured by a Triple Crown. I want the traditional excitement and then give me the Triple Crown after that. I don't want my first excitement of the season to be the manufactured Triple Crown. I'm a traditionalist at heart.
So Houston is probably what you're looking forward to then. First round for Lewis. The first true round of Supercross.
No, Triple Crown will be good, but still, I mean, if Tomac wins all 3, I swear to God.
How are we going to deal with that with the next post show? What are you talking about? Why would you even bring that up? I thought Sexton was going 15-2.
No, it's fine. Obviously, we wanted to sit here and accept 16-1, but 15-2 is just fine.
It's just going to change every week.
And actually, if you include Triple Crown mains, we have even more opportunities to capture
That is
chicken
true.
flags.
It's going to be like 19, 20, and
Yep.
20 and 2.
So actually, the
Are we going to
17,
start counting heat races in
the
this map as
17
well?
number
Will.
is still in play.
No, he'll probably start counting that LCQ win here soon in that too.
Right. That's a win.
That was a night.
That's a win.
That was a moment of the night. I saw
It's the race
fans.
of the night.
I saw fans leaving after the LCQ because they felt they got their money's worth.
You sure they weren't just going to the bathroom
No,
and to
I
get some
s-
chicken strips?
I saw them look out onto the stadium floor and go, "We've seen what we came here for."
We got our money's worth.
Yep, we saw the Sexton ship in full operation. Now let's go.
At San Diego, a couple highlights for Lewis, possibly. Again, I mentioned Jeremy Sewer being there.
Mm-hmm.
Your boy. No more Saturdays with Sewer. Is that the case?
He let me down.
He just didn't feel like doing it, or what happened?
No,
was busy.
he arranged. To be fair,
He was stolen.
I didn't push it at all, and he said to me, "We're doing it," and I was like, "Okay, what
Yeah.
time?" And he's 6. I was like, "Okay, I'll see you at 6." And he messaged me bang on 6 and said, "Are we doing it?" And I was like, "Yep, sure thing." And then 15 minutes later, he messaged me saying he's been caught up and he wasn't going to make it. And we haven't spoken since, to be honest with you, because we're not on good terms.
Wow.
What was he caught up doing?
Yamaha monster stuff. These people pay him money.
That's not important.
No, they pay him
What,
money.
do you
but
not pay him enough?
No, I don't. I pay him in exposure. Without me, no one would know who he was.
What kind of exposure are we
Really?
talking about here?
Without me, no one would know.
Is that how you feel about Chase Sexton?
That's my next topic.
Oh.
Did you get to spend any time with AC or
I
Chase?
did interview AC.
Okay,
There
how'd that go?
there was a San Diego 2005 mention. Twice, actually.
AC or RC?
AC.
Okay,
Oh, I do it with everyone.
okay, okay.
I have not
he
yet
is
managed to
2005.
interview Chase Sexton.
But you didn't.
Moment
I
of
thought you saw him.
silence. I saw him.
Okay,
We had a moment.
or maybe ML saw him and talked to him about you. Is that what I remember?
I did bring it up to him. I said, "Have you seen Lewis today?" He said, "No, but that guy's great."
Wow.
That guy is great. The feeling's mutual. I just fully expect him to thank me on the podium when he gets up there.
So, what was the highlight of your day at San Diego? Which one of those moments,
Oh,
or was it just Chase winning the heat race? What was it?
it was nice to see Sewer.
Yeah.
I also got to bro down with Carmichael for a bit. That was nice. Yeah, sadly, it's not the racing because the racing wasn't great. It
Right.
really wasn't. Like, I'm struggling for like storylines to latch onto. You know, like the results were the same as Anaheim 1 for the most part. Tomac's great, we know that. Webb's good, we know that.
Yep.
Sexton, although he didn't finish third, he would have finished third had he not been bumped by Barsha. I won't say taken out because that's a bit aggressive. He may have finished second, but still, that would have been the same 3 riders as we had at Anaheim 1. If you look at the series standings so far, then there aren't really any riders who have variation in their results. Everyone's fairly similar.
Yeah, for sure.
I want... Oh, Tomac finished first at A1, but 8th at San Diego. So where is he? What does that mean? Malcolm finished 22nd at Anaheim 1, but won San Diego. What does that... Like, I want variation and I want talking points.
Doesn't that make you, in retrospective, appreciate last year even more how crazy the first couple rounds were?
I am clinging to the fact that although in the past 2 seasons, I believe, we've had 4 winners in 4 rounds, the end result of the season wasn't overly exciting. So I'm hoping this time it's been reversed and the opening of the season may not be amazing, but it will come around in the end. So they all come around.
Clearly, Malcolm is on a trajectory to get a podium if he can keep things together.
yeah.
And speaking of clearly, X-Brand Goggles has quietly grown into one of the premier goggle choices available. Used in some of the most grueling conditions by 2022 GNCC XC2 champion Lyndon Snodgrass, the 2022 GNCC ATV Pro champion Bryson Neal, Factory Huskies Craig DeLong, Babbitt Kawasaki's Josh Strang, and Grant Baylor. On the Supercross side, Chris Blows and the AGE Motorsports team, Freddie Norn, John Short, Ryan Brees, and Bubba Pauly all trust X-Brand. Visit your local dealership and ask for X-Brand, distributed through WPS. I want to talk about Malcolm. Malcolm was fastest qualifier, won his heat, and he came from behind a little bit, was cutting down very aggressively, and just consistently was accelerating out of corners faster than Kenny, AC, Dylan, and then things just sort of fell apart in the main. But what is going on with him, Michael? Like he's right there. Is he just pushing a little too hard?
I think so. I mean, he played a little bit conservative last season. I mean, amazing statistic. I think he was top 5 at 14 rounds or something in the 17. And I mean, I feel like kind of everybody had the same consensus when talking about him coming into this year is we need to see a little bit more Uki fever back out of him. Need to see something to push him towards finally getting that first win. And from talking to him, he just kind of seems like he admits to just making mistakes, just trying to push himself and put himself in that position. Does it suck to see? Yes, but I'm actually a little more excited to see that than if he would have just started this year the same way as last year. At least I see him trying to go a little bit extra to try to get that win. And even though he had those incidents, my percentage pie of him getting his first win this season has actually gone up, at least in my opinion.
Question for the room. When you watch Malcolm, do you think he looks different to last year? Don't look at times. Ignore just watch him.
Yes.
I did. In the heat race, absolutely I did.
In the way of more aggressive than
I think like intensity overall, yes.
See, I don't see it.
Really?
I don't think I do. Like, I don't know if I think he's riding on the edge. In that same breath, I don't know what to put the crashes down to then.
Yeah.
But I don't see a massive difference to last year because he had moments last year in heats and things like that. Okay, maybe I'm not talking about a heat race so much, but in the main event, I didn't feel like he was overriding to get to the front as quickly as possible.
See, I think, at least my opinion is, I think the intensity is a little, not drastic, but I think there is a little bit more, a little earlier, where I felt like last year he was a little better for long run pace. I feel like he's trying a little bit harder right off the bat this year. Right from gate drop.
Okay, I could maybe subscribe to that.
Like first 2-3 laps.
I could subscribe to that. Yes. I need to see what happened with his whoops crash.
Yeah.
Because that's a mystery to me. Because maybe if we see clear footage of that, then it becomes very apparent whether he just made a mental error or was riding too hard.
He told me he hit a rock, and he knew it was there, but he said he picked the wrong line coming in that lap, and the rear hit it. So, I mean, I still haven't seen video. I don't know if there is, but the way he described it to me is he clipped a rock and basically cartwheeled into the corner.
Okay.
What I'm seeing, what I was really paying attention to was his corner speed and how tight he was cutting down, which we keep hearing how much they've improved those frames. And he would come from behind a guy in the corner and then accelerate in front of them, and it just seemed like he was charging into the corners and out so much quicker.
What I like seeing in the heat race is not only him cutting down, but also his bike position after he'd make a move. There were so many times where he would get a drive on somebody, he'd immediately move over and capture their line or shut them down from jumping in a certain way in the next rhythm. So I thought his racecraft was also really good. I thought he was very thoughtful on his bike placement, how he was battling the guys in that heat race.
Question for the room, again. Who is most likely to win the Triple Crown? Malcolm, Kenny, or just those two?
I'm going to go Malcolm.
Malcolm.
I'm not very confident in Ken right now.
But I ask because I feel like Kenny could win the Triple Crown by going 3-2-2, whereas Malcolm may go 1-16-2.
That's true.
Not a bad point.
See, I guess you're having to subscribe to a whole nother thing, though. You're saying, oh, Kenny would get with a 2-3-2 or something. So what are we saying is happening to Eli and Chase during this?
Right.
Well, Chase would obviously go 1-1-1. And then maybe he'll get protested by someone, and that's why he won't win the overall.
Maybe he just means who's going to win out of those two.
Yes, that's
Like,
what
who's
don't overcomplicate it.
Who's going to finish better, Malcolm or Ken?
If we're just going finish is better at the Triple Crown based on the first couple rounds or first 2 rounds, I would go Kenny. I think Kenny will be more consistent. Now, I wouldn't be surprised if Malcolm wins a main at Triple Crown this weekend, but like you said, has issues in a main.
I feel that it is a matter of urgency for Malcolm to win a main event as soon as possible, because I don't think that these mistakes go away until he gets that monkey off his back.
You kind of can't you can't start the season throwing it away and then go to Mr. Conservative. Like, you have to prove the point. You have to finish what you started and get the win.
He needs to get the monkey off his back, because he said to me, I've said it a million times, he said to me before Anaheim won, he is not thinking about that first win. He doesn't care. It's not a priority. I beg to differ, sir, after the riding that I have seen through 2 rounds.
I agree. He needs a win, and I pick him. He's going to win one of the main events, or whatever we're calling them at the Triple Crown. He won't win the overall, though.
Question for you, Jamie. I realize I'm asking a lot of questions, but
it's good.
I care
I love
about
it.
your opinion, friend.
It's interesting. He's not just telling us his opinion.
No,
he wants to know what we think.
No, I ain't having that either. We'll get to that in the slag off your bloody
bloke
thing, because that
FXRs.
pisses me off. Remember that. I've got something to say about that. You remember. Remind me.
About opinions.
Okay.
Me and Michael discussed this on the post-race show. How many riders do you think will win a main event this year now, and name them?
Oh, Jesus. Chase.
Yep, obviously. Duh.
Duh. Yeah, that's it. No.
That's it.
Agreed. I knew I liked you.
Wow. Tomac, somehow we haven't talked about Tomac even though he's won 2 races.
Cooper, I didn't think I was picking Eli because he's already won.
How many guys will win this year, and who are they?
Eli, Chase, Cooper, Jason Anderson.
That's what I said. Look at that. Great minds think alike.
I like.
I said the exact same, except I added Malcolm. I went for the traditional 5 people winning.
I think we have less winners this year. I really do. I see nothing so far that makes me think that Kenny, Malcolm, Barsha are going to be able to sneak in there. I think I did say, actually, that if I had to pick a 5th, I would go Barsha.
I think you did, yeah.
But I see nothing. I see nothing.
Right.
That makes me think that someone else is going to slide in there.
I don't see it yet either. We are only 2 rounds in, and they've been kind of weird. I mean, I barely count A1 because of just it's A1 and the
Okay,
conditions. So I feel like I need to see a couple more rounds. I do feel like a couple guys are going to get better. They always do.
And obviously injuries make it
Right,
easier for
right.
guys to get in there.
I'm also very excited that we have a Triple Crown and then we have Houston because I also kind of want to get to East Coast because
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
already so worried West Coast is going to be a snoozer.
Yeah. And then come right back for another West Coast round at Oakland.
We have 2 East before we come back
Yeah.
to West. Yeah, we go Houston, Tampa, then Oakland, and
Dallas.
then Dallas.
I took a nap in the 250 main event. It was nice.
We've got about 10 minutes before we get Stilez on. Do you want to talk about the Barsha Anderson tweet, the incident? I don't think the Jason Anderson pass was bad. I thought it was actually a pretty decent block pass.
Yeah, I would.
But I don't know what it stems from unless it's last year.
It's got to be last year of some sort because everything that the little bit that Jason spoke, it didn't really seem like there was anything that happened during the day. Justin mentioned the press conference, nothing else happened. And then I talked to him privately, like off interview, and he's like, no, we never were near each other anywhere during the day. So I think that's definitely odd. And like I said, my biggest thing is not that the pass was fine.
Yep.
I think Justin totally agrees with that. I think most people that watch that would be totally cool with that, the way that Anderson made that move. I just think the ugly is just the way it's totally handled afterwards, partially the fact that the tweet ends up on TV, Anderson deletes it, the bitch comment gets brought up on the press conference.
Dude,
albeit the press conference when Barsha does the "oh yeah" is hilarious.
you have no idea how many times Chris Kiefer did that this weekend. He
I
was
bet.
dying laughing when he saw it. Watched it 4 or 5 times, and then all weekend
He's been tweeting about
yeah.
And then just what it leaves over, and then what it also does for Jason's championship. I keep going back to this. Picked him for the title, and now like my main reasoning was, he'll make less mistakes, get into less incidents. And round 2, we're into the weeds.
Lewis, it goes back to my question for him at the press conference, the opening round press conference, where I was like, "Are you going to be able to not go out of your mind?" Basically, Jason, you have to learn from these things that this is hurting your results. These stupid decisions. Did it really have an effect on the night overall? Probably not. But those kind of things are going to get him taken out by Barsha again. Or
it's weird because what he did
on the championship.
What he did in the heat race was fine, and it actually didn't hurt his race or result or anything at all. So from that perspective, maybe it was an improvement over last year. But still, like, why are you doing this? Like, I would understand it more if Barsha T-boned him 2 turns previously. But we're on Wednesday night now, and as of yet, no one has figured out whether anything happened, what the reason was. So if so, why are you doing that? You're a championship guy. You have got bigger fish to fry than revenge for whatever happened last year in a heat race. Be the bigger man. Make your point. If you want to make a point, make your point by passing him, riding away, and beating him by 10 seconds. And then we'll all sit on this podcast and go, well, nice, good, nice.
He's
great
finally
work.
matured.
Yeah, I just take some accountability, figure your shit out, and, let's do this.
I want to thank the guys at Prox, which is rooted in racing from motocross to off-road, supporting teams like Pro Circuit Kawasaki, Ampro, Yamaha, and SLR Honda. Prox has been dedicated to supplying quality components since 1975. From complex jobs like an engine rebuild to simple maintenance like filters, chains, and sprockets, Prox aims to bridge the gap between OE quality and affordability. Prox has thousands of part numbers covering almost any wear item on your bike, all manufactured by OEM and highly reputable suppliers and offered at a budget-friendly price. Find Prox at your favorite local dealer or online retailer. Visit prox-usa.com to search parts for your bike. I just think Jason's... It's you're in the middle of a race or you're at the end of the night and you're making a tweet. It just he's too focused on things that aren't important.
See, I struggle because also at the same time I like the tweet because it's
You like-
exciting.
okay.
And
It is.
Okay. All right, Daniel Blair.
at the same time we do need more stuff like that.
Yeah, Lewis is on point there. Like, it is hard. You're criticizing the 1 or 2 little pieces of emotion we see coming out of it, and that in itself is wrong if we're just like, back to everybody has to be robots and they can't say
That's
anything
true.
bad about each other. It's just, again, I guess, like, if he had tweeted that, if they had gone into it in practice and then that happened in the heat race tweet, I actually would almost be more okay with, be more understanding. I just keep coming back to when did anything else happen that escalated? Because that feels like such an escalated moment kind of thing. Like I'm waiting for somebody to be talking about, oh, well, didn't you see them in practice stuffing each other?
Or
Or
in
they
the
got
tunnel, maybe something happened.
yeah, or he got in the way of his fast lap. Like then I would expect something like that. And I'd be like, quote Kiefer, oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
This is where I'm at. If something had clearly happened beforehand, then I don't care. It's fine what he did
Yeah.
with everything. The pass was fine anyway. It was just a pass, like whatever. That's good. That's fine. Nothing bad to say about there. Just if something happened, he needs to come out and tweet and go, by the way, everyone, this happened
is
in
why.
practice, because that changes the narrative. But as far as we know, Barsha didn't actually complain. And if he did, who cares? If you are going to tweet that purely on the basis that Barsha complained to you, where is your head at on race day?
Exactly.
And the last
That's my
one
point.
is, this is just from watching from the stands. You never know, but just what you're able to see. So Jason comes over the finish line, immediately goes left, and then that triple. So he's rolling because he's finished. He parks on the double part of that triple, looks back and already starts nodding at Barsha and panic revving at him. So Barsha hadn't even gone around far enough to like yell anything at him yet. So at least from where we're sitting, I thought that he's the one that did the incident and then was escalating it after they crossed the finish line. So again, I'm sitting here going, I have to have missed
There is
something.
more to the story.
Something happened that I don't know about.
Right.
It's dumb.
Founded in 1853, Motul is a 170-year-old company that is present in over 160 countries globally, offering exclusive technologies in their patented ester core technology for your machine. Motul's experts have developed a wide range of dedicated products for the specific requirements of each power sport vehicle. Trusted by race teams such as Honda HRC Europe with 5-time MXGP World Champion Tim Geiser, reigning Arena Cross Champion Kyle Peters, and the entire Phoenix Honda team, along with former Dakar winner Ricky Brabeck. Motul provides an element of confidence for you and your machine to be able to withstand the most grueling conditions on the track or on the trail. Champions choose Motul. 5 minutes. So, we'll stay on the Barsha topic for just a minute, ML. Like, there's theories out there that Ken Roczen was scared, basically, just didn't know what to do with Barsha to pass him. I do think the riders second guess when passing Barsha of what he may do, but I don't really think that he just wasn't willing to pass him because he was afraid of what he might do. I really think Kenny is just struggling.
I mean, I guess to find struggling compared to last weekend, he was way in the correct direction.
True.
Again, back to that track. So he did make a move, and Justin got him back immediately.
Right back. Yep.
And didn't really, I wouldn't say parked him, but kind of got a little aggressive to get back by him, but nothing really to write home about. But yeah, if you're racing Barsha and you're on a track that, again, you realize every place you make a pass kind of puts you in a situation for the next corner, I could see with him like kind of second guessing myself a little bit. Like, okay, you're kind of maybe Kenny, that's why he hung behind him for so long. Like, oh, I got to wait for him to make a big enough mistake that I can get him and get by him. Because he realized after he tried to make the first move on him, like, okay, he's going to be able to come back on me. I'm not that much faster than him tonight. The track's not lending me to be able to get away. So yeah, he might have been kind of awaiting his time. I mean, you see the same thing. Chase gets to Kenny. There just wasn't enough separation in the rhythm lanes. Nobody could really do anything different. I didn't think they were difficult enough or rough enough. You know, section-wise, the guys were making a mistake. Almost every lap, they would do every rhythm perfect, other than the triple by the mechanics area. But even, I don't know, that depending how far swept out the corner was, like it didn't make that big of a time difference.
Yeah.
So
I like that the triple.
I like the one especially coming out of the mechanics area because the way it had the rut in it looked a little sketchy.
Yeah, that's cool. Lewis, thoughts on Kenny? Just when I say struggling, I just feel like he's not as confident as he has been in the past in what he can do with the bike. But
Yeah, I do not think he's struggling. One.
Okay.
Two, who come up with a theory that he was scared to pass Barsha? Was it you?
No.
Okay, because that's dumb also. And if
Okay.
that was you,
I've
we need to have a word.
heard those theories.
Okay, if that was you, we need to have a word.
Okay.
Who are these people? Is this like Weege? We've heard from the people?
Yes, we've heard from the people.
No,
the people have spoken.
That means you came up with it.
Barsha did very well in San Diego. Kenny also did very well in San Diego, and so did Chase. Everyone in that group did very well. Improvement on A1 for Kenny. Clearly looked a lot better. Could he have passed Barsha? I don't know. He was right there, but that track didn't exactly lend itself to passing. Name really any passes we saw? Not much. I think there's no real criticism of what Kenny did in San Diego.
Okay.
You have.
Yeah, we got a guest coming up. WUSA is your source for all things wheels. If you're looking for a complete set of wheels for your bike, we have something for every budget. If you want to use the same wheels used by Eli Tomac, Cooper Webb, Malcolm Smith, Christian Craig, Chad Reed, and Jeremy McGrath, just to name a few, we have the wheels you need. We have the exclusive W Edge wheel set starting at $799. If you're looking to just freshen up your stock wheels, we can help. Give us a call or check us out. Our website, WUSA.com, or follow us on Instagram. I am blowing this.
That's what you get for trying to read it fast.
I'm trying to read it too fast. Tonight, WUSA brings us from Star Yamaha, Mr. Stilez Robertson. What's up, Stilez?
Oh, not a whole lot. Just packing up here in Tallahassee.
Yeah, how's it? How's the East Coast, man? Do you like flying back every week?
Yeah, it honestly hasn't been bad. We've gotten lucky with the rain and stuff. This week we actually did get hit with rain. So we just rode yesterday, but I mean, it hasn't been bad because we've gotten a lot of testing in and just good seat time here at our place.
So first season on the Yamaha, obviously a big change coming off the Husky. What are you most comfortable with on the bike? What are you struggling with? What do you feel like you need to improve on bike-wise setup?
I think we came in pretty stiff for A1. You know, just the practice track doesn't get as, broke down or rough as the race. And A1, we kind of realized that. And, we came back and made the adjustments after that. The team was unreal. We tested Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday that week, and we tried, everything. And we found a setting that was really good. And it's kind of similar to what the 450 guys were on. And it really helped. So as of right now, I think we're in a really good spot. The bike, goes through the loops good. San Diego, I was able to turn under a lot of people, which I was really struggling with. Anaheim was my turns, and San Diego, I got to really put that to work. So I think now we got a pretty good package. I just need to get off the gate is kind of my thing right now. We actually did get off the gate in the main event, but chaos broke out after.
Yeah, you got lucky in that one.
Yeah, no, I got really lucky.
Hey, Stilez, ML here. Question for you on the team's vibe and just attitude towards the results between you and Levi the first 2 rounds. Star has a certain reputation of expecting a lot from their guys. I mean, they are a top quality team, has won the most 250 championships last couple years. Like, were they pretty well recognizing where you guys were off on bike setup? Did you feel much pressure after the first round or two from them, or has it been pretty decent so far?
No, it's been unreal. The support has been something that I haven't experienced before, of, how willing and open they are to trying whatever, whenever, and after A1, it was no blame on anybody. It was just kind of like, hey, we all can be better. Obviously, I didn't ride well, and I knew that. And, but I mean, no, they've been super helpful. And like, yeah, they honestly haven't pointed fingers at us at all. Like, they know what we got to work on, and it's been really good. Like, I've actually been surprised of how helpful and supportive they've been.
Are you putting more pressure on yourself riding for this team?
Oh yeah, 100%. I mean, like you guys said, it's the most dominant 250 team there is out right now. And when you're not doing that, I've never had the comments, I guess, and I know I shouldn't be reading them, but I've never gotten the comments like I have, like, oh, Stilez and Levi suck, like, we're terrible. Right. I've never got that before, so it's kind of funny. But I mean, so far, I mean, they've been super helpful, and I cannot. I mean, Swanee, Brad, Jeremy, Jensen, I mean, Bobby, everyone has been really, really helpful, and I haven't got in trouble at all. I mean, it's been all positive and all getting better.
Hey, one that's kind of a weird subject. I'm actually laughing. It's popping up in our chat quite a bit right now, and I don't know whose interview it was. I don't know if it was from Swaps, but people keep referencing you saying something about a spotter, and the way I heard it was more of a joking term, but a bunch of people keep taking it dead serious. They think you got like somebody you got a comm in your helmet telling you can turn left now, buddy. It's good.
Yeah, I mean, I guess they can think what they want, right? Maybe I do, maybe I don't. No, I mean, obviously I don't. Obviously I do not have a spotter. I didn't know this, and I was talking to my dad on the phone, and he's like, people think you have a spotter. I said, what? He goes, yeah, people think you have a spotter. I was like, no, I come from Bakersfield. There's dirt track, asphalt. Like, we come from, like that kind of racing where you always have, like, people on the side of the track, where you have NASCAR, there's a spotter. And I was just being funny, making a joke, like, oh, yeah, my spotter said I wasn't clear.
Yeah, you gotta be careful what you say these days, Styles.
I know. I should have ran with it, honestly.
Yeah.
Oh, you should. You should be
Right
like,
here.
just like have a fake picture of like an iHome or something in your helmet. Screw with people. Yeah, this is what I'm listening to people on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I should get a hold of Cardo, however you say that.
Yeah,
the,
Cardo.
Cardo system, and see if they want to throw some money my way, and
Right.
I'll say that's what's in my ear.
Lewis asked you a minute ago about the putting more pressure on yourself with this team. I could see that also affecting you negatively. If you don't do well on a team that's so successful, that's a bad look, right? It's really it's putting that pressure on yourself is good, but it could also be bad. Like, how do you find that line?
Honestly, I don't know if I've found it yet.
Okay.
I know. I mean, honestly, at San Diego in the main event, I don't think I rode terrible. Like, yes, I didn't ride great. I mean, I was battling with people through the main event. So yeah, obviously my best lap time is not going to be what the front guys were, but I also didn't give myself a chance to see the pace. I was kind of back there and, just a different pace, you know what I mean? A different group. So I wasn't, I mean, obviously I'm mad I got 6, but at the end of the day, I rode 15 minutes. I didn't fade. I didn't really drop off that bad. So I wasn't honestly really mad. I'm obviously mad. But I've never honestly felt like I rode like kind of that, like almost not like myself, but I just rode good, like okay for 15 minutes. And I don't feel like I've done that. Like I didn't pump up. The bike was good. So there was a lot of positives to take from it. And I know that, with the right start and putting myself in a better position where I see the pace and I'm with the guys is just going to, I couldn't be, I mean, that was a bad night. I got a bad start and I was 6. So we were trending in the right direction from Anaheim 1's 9th,
Yeah, I think in all honesty, the 6th isn't terrible considering how the first turn went. I think at the end of the first lap, they had you credited in 12th or something like that, but you were close to dead last coming out of the first turn. And so, I mean, you had a lot to deal with.
And then I stalled it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, you stalled it?
I stalled it like a complete, yeah. Like I didn't even know. I've never stalled the bike ever. I've never stalled it, and I stalled it, and I was like, oh my gosh. I think Varese and maybe someone else got around me, which I mean, it's my fault. Like I stalled the motorcycle, and it kind of jacked me up from that rhythm section. But no, looking at like total time and stuff like that, it wasn't obviously what we wanted, but yeah, I mean, it wasn't terrible,
Being completely honest, like, what do you think that you can do this year if everything goes well? Like, truthfully, I think you can win a main event. Like, I think you're that good. I think you're quite underrated in Supercross, and I'm not just saying that because you're on a star bike. If you were still on a Husky, I think you would be on that level as well. Do you kind of expect something similar from yourself?
No, I mean, I think, that my ability and everything, I'm capable to win a Supercross. And right now, I think, I really want to get on the podium this weekend. That's like my goal. I think it's completely doable. And it's something that, I want. And I think for sure, once you get a podium, it gets easier. And I really just want to get on the box or do something because I'm so tired of just having that Daytona podium. That haunts me, pisses me off. Everyone just says, oh, Daytona's different. Daytona's different. So I really want to get that podium and that monkey off my back. And like, no, I can do it on a normal Supercross track. Like, that's really my goal right now. And then once I get the podium, chip away, towards a win. But
absolutely,
yeah, I definitely think I'm capable of it for sure. Just putting it together.
I was curious, coming to the team, well, you signed your deal, of course, probably before we were all aware, but you came into this offseason still kind of nursing an injury, so you wouldn't have been, I would say, on the bike as early as some of your teammates. At what point did you know that you were going to end up racing West Coast? Because I'll be honest, up until a couple weeks before A1, I really thought you would probably be East due to preparation time, and then we, kind of started hearing that you would probably be lining up at A1.
Yeah, I think I found out. I'm trying to remember. I think 3 weeks before A1, 2 or 3 weeks before A1. It kind of was bouncing between a couple of us. So we didn't really know. And then I got the hint, kind of like, hey, it's gonna be you and Levi. And that's when I was like, all right, maybe so. But then it would bounce back and forth. Like one day it'd be Levi and Nick. One day it was me and Nate. You know, it just kind of was changing. And I think it's honestly a good thing because it keeps you all ready, which I think is kind of mentally was good for me. But yeah, I want to say I found out about, like, for sure the confirmation was probably 2 weeks before.
So you've been at the Baker's factory for years with the Husky team. How different is the training now with Swanee and the group? What's the difference? Is it less grueling? Yeah, I know Alden's pretty strict on diet, that kind of stuff. What's different? What's better? What's worse?
I mean, I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know how to say, like, it's like here when you have a hard day, it's a hard day, and here you're riding a lot and kind of, it's a lot of focus on the motorcycle as well as the gym where sometimes, I mean, I don't know. It's almost, they kind of both have like differences, but it's the same, if that makes sense.
Yeah, but
I know that sounds weird, but
No.
it's similar. And I think any program at the top level of these trainers, they kind of all are pretty similar in some sort.
But were you saying that at Alden's it may be focused on off the bike a little more than on the bike? Is that kind of what you're hinting at, or no? Am I misunderstanding?
Yeah, a little bit. There you had your laps and you had, you had those laps to get good, where here, if you're struggling, they're not afraid to change it. Or maybe you're doing really good on the bike, but you're fading at 10 minutes. Well, okay, we're going to hit the gym harder. It's just here, they're not afraid to
Adjust.
Customize it, I guess. Yeah.
Okay.
Adjust to it. But honestly, I was hurt a lot there at Eldon. So, I never even got a full off season. But, Swanee's really good at kind of knowing every rider. And I mean, I'm still really, really tight with Mike Brown. I mean, he came and seen me before the night show at San Diego. And that's how me and Mike were too. So I love them both. And I think they're similar, but different.
Okay.
Have you struggled to get used to the new people at Star, the new vibe? Because obviously at the Baker's factory, hanging out with Dean and Jalik and Brownie, as you said, like that was a good time. I feel like it suited you well. So has it been hard to get used to maybe things being a little more serious now?
Yeah, honestly, it did. At first, I didn't know who to talk to, what to say. I kind of just sat in my chair in the locker room and just kind of listened to everybody. But now I've kind of found my place, I guess. So it's been a lot of fun. We've all been kind of finding our kind of figuring each other out, because with me being new and Smee was already there, so they were already had a relationship, and then Gilliam kind of is there too. So kind of me and Gilliam were the oddballs out, but now we're all it's a good group. It's actually pretty funny. But at first, no, I was awkward. I didn't know what to say.
I was curious on track with, even though at Baker's you guys rode together, there was kind of that separation of like Alden's A guys rode one supercross track, like you and the Brownie group would be on a different one. With all you guys on one track, with it being a lot of 250 guys, what's the intensity like? Because I've heard comments about riding a Go Farm is just how much intensity there is every day with all those guys.
Yeah, that's where I've been. Honestly, it has been a rude awakening for me at the beginning. Like when these guys come out and we do our sprint laps, it is insane. Like at first, I will be the first one to tell you, I was a fish out of water. I was like, oh my gosh, these guys' intensity is like insane. Where now I've gotten a little bit better, but that's something I still need to, work on. Is when you're here, your intensity is 100% every time that your bike is on the track. Like there's no lollygagging around, and every day, I think because there's enough guys here and enough, we can all say it. Everyone's got an ego and wants to be the fastest. So there's enough of us here that it is gnarly. Where there, it was, me, Jake, and RJ. So one day, like, one guy might be like, all right, he's going to be faster. You know what I mean? And settle. But here, it's everyone is just wide open. So it's pretty gnarly. But I think that helps us so much in the long run. Like, the intensity is insane. And I haven't got to experience it, but I heard for outdoors, it's even gnarlier. So I guess we will find out shortly.
So when we were there for the YZ450 press launch, I know I saw Jeannie hanging around, Ricky's mom, and I heard that she still comes and helps out. And I talked to Ricky about it, and he's like, yeah, my parents still like going out to the property and doing stuff. Because I would have been, I think, right before you got back to riding. You weren't riding Supercross yet when I was there. Have you gotten to work with her yet? And are all the stories true? Is she also fairly intense lady?
So actually, I've worked with Jeannie in the past. I worked with her in 2015. I was there for like a Fox camp, maybe Fox had a camp there, and then I ended up staying for like a week. And then 2017, when I first got on big bikes, I came down before Minios and then before Freestone. So I had some time with her, and I love Jeannie. She's the best. She'll let you know. She'll let you know how it is, and she's definitely gnarly. But somehow I have she has a soft spot for me. So I don't know what it is, because when I first came back from my ankle, I'll be the first to tell you, I was a little chubby. I had a good injury. Like, I was just sitting on the couch. I couldn't walk for a little bit, so I definitely gained the lbs. And the joke was I was the chubby kid. And the first day that Jeannie was there, she was like, "Don't say that about my styles." And Swanee was like, couldn't believe it, that she was like, had a soft spot for me, because
Nice.
she hasn't really had one for anybody. And I was like, yes, small wins.
His favorite. Yes.
Yeah, she didn't let Ricky get. She didn't want Ricky chubby. That wasn't allowed. He was, but she didn't like it. Yeah.
I feel bad because like the couple times I met her, she is really nice.
Yeah.
At least like I can get it. I've watched how I think her big thing is just, it's no BS. Like, if you came off the track and had an excuse for why you blew a corner or anything, I just don't think she takes excuses. Like, she just is no BS in that sense. But other than that, she's really nice to talk to.
I think she's literally so sweet, and it's funny. Like, I think that's just kind of how she is. She acts like she is smarter than everyone kind of thinks. I'm like kind of looking from the outside in, and she kind of reads you, you know what I mean, and doesn't say much at first, and then kind of gets her impression. But yeah, no, she definitely, if she thinks you're doing wrong, she will tell you. It's funny.
That's good. Stilez Robertson, brought to you by WUSA. Visit WUSA.com and use that promo code MotoXPod Show to save. First Triple Crown of the year coming up, Stilez. How do you prepare differently mentally? What's different? What do you like Triple Crowns? Give us the rundown for you.
I've honestly, I don't even know how many Triple Crowns I've done. Like,
Not
I think
many.
I've only done one.
Okay.
I don't know, honestly. But anyway, I mean, I don't mind them. I hope it gets rough. Our bike's been really good when it gets rough and shoot up more. So yeah, I hope it gets rough and gnarly, and I hope that I can tame the beast on the start and get good starts, and we'll have a good night.
Last question, I guess. You talked about working on certain things. You know where you need to get to be on the podium, but give me the most important thing that has to change or has to get better for you to get on the podium this weekend. What's the one? Is it just starts?
Starts, yeah. Triple Crown starts.
Okay, so if you get a good start, how wide of a bike can you ride? I mean, you're gonna get your elbows out. We're gonna push jet wide. We're gonna take your ex teammate.
Hopefully my speed's good enough where I don't have to do that. But no, I think just a good start, and I think in our class 3, consistent, good mains with good starts, and you'll be in a good position.
All right, Stilez. Hey man, we're looking forward to it this weekend. We'll see you in just a few days back here in Anaheim. You have to make that trip back west. That's not a fun trip, but look forward to seeing you at A2. Technically, it's round 4, supposedly. I don't understand that, but we're going to see you, man. I hope to see you up on the podium, on the box.
Yep, that's the plan. Thank you, guys.
All right, buddy. Thanks, Stilez.
All right, see ya.
That's Stilez Robertson, brought to you by WUSA. Thoughts?
I just think that he is criminally underrated as a rider. I've said it a few times. I think I said it on our preview shows. I've said it a lot. I think he can be quite good. If he won a main event, say he wins one of the 3 main events this weekend, I would not be blown away. I would maybe raise an eyebrow, but I would go, okay. And again, I feel like it's important to preface this. I'm not saying that because he's on a star bike.
Right. Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, I think it helps, but I agree. I think he has more talent and ability than people have given him credit for.
Well, one we didn't talk about, I thought about asking, but it's kind of old news, is last year when he podiumed at Daytona, I mean, he came into that season with basically no time on the bike. If you watch the Rockstar series, he explains it pretty well. He had done, what was his, hip or pelvis pretty badly?
Yeah.
He'd only
pelvis,
been back on the bike, I think 2 or 3, like 2 weeks before East Coast started. And that type of injury, you're not able to run, train, do anything. So, I mean, he was basically coming off the couch in the East Coast, and he was really solid last year at a lot of rounds. He had really good moments, and for a kid that's been hurt a lot coming into the season, I think even the year before he kind of struggled with some stuff like that. So, I think we really, to Lewis's point, underrated. I think we barely have started to see what Stilez is capable of in a sense. Like, we haven't seen the best of him because he hasn't even really had the opportunity to put that out there.
I agree with that.
Stilez is the most exciting rider on Star Yamaha currently. Stamp that.
West and East Coast.
Yep.
Okay.
If I am
More excited about him than J Mart. J Mart's not on. Sorry.
Wow. Yeah.
Club MX. So there you go. Hey, I caught it.
no,
Hayden
The fact that you said it, though.
I feel like that is controversial. If I was Bobby Reagan, I would be most excited about this Stilez guy and what I can take him to and what he could potentially achieve. I believe in Stilez for no reason other than I just see it.
Okay.
Would you like to invite him to the Sexton ship
Yeah,
with you?
he might be on the
No.
Or you gonna have
The
another
Sexton ship is fairly exclusive.
Styles
Can't get too busy.
Styles runway.
The Stilez runway. What even is that? That's not
The
even
Robertson.
Styles and on a fashion show.
That's
runway.
not. No, that's terrible. That's not even punny. It's not funny. It's not.
Andy Gregg and the Guts Racing crew have been providing the best seats and foam in the industry for years. For 2023, they have added Kawasaki to the complete scene lineup, as well as the color teal to the gripper material options. Also new for 2023 are options for your e-bike. They have complete seats for Teleria and Super 73 and covers for the Segway and Sur-Ron. And they have options for the Honda, KTM, and Husqvarna electric bikes. Visit gutsracing.com and order today. Staggered restart.
Just a quick
go
comment.
ahead.
I
Go
just
ahead.
want, just because the chat has brought this up, and
Okay.
I've also thought it.
Yeah.
People have been saying a lot of ad reads, and I too feel like they're heavier on the front, not as spread out as last week. That's why, isn't it? I feel like
Well,
Yeah,
last
not
week they
as
were
spread out.
they were too heavy on the end last
yeah,
week.
that's what I mean. That's why I feel
Okay.
like people
They are more
confused.
spread. Yeah.
Listen, we have 10 that we have to get through, and
10 great people to help
great
make this
sponsors that are making the show happen that we have to get through in the opening segment and in between the guests, and then at the end, and we still have about 4 to go.
Well, you know me, man of the people, so I just wanted
Yeah.
to make sure that the people understood where my friend Jamie was coming
yes,
from.
I understand when I listen to other podcasts, the ad reads can be a little bit much sometimes, but this show would not be happening without these sponsors. So go support those sponsors. Let them know you're listening, and I will do my best to mix it up a little bit where they're not so heavy. I'm trying to find the flow with the new sponsors and the new.
Will we have sponsors on the Siding with Lewis podcast?
That's up to you.
Well, the people see, maybe the people would enjoy it if we didn't. We'll talk afterwards.
Yeah, we'll talk.
Let's
talk.
Let's connect. We'll connect.
So, okay, so the staggered restart. That was interesting, right? We've seen staggered restarts in the past. We haven't necessarily seen them with didn't they put the 30-second board up or something, and then they're supposed to go to the previous lap, but it felt like they went maybe 2 laps back. It didn't seem quite right.
It definitely confused a lot of
Yeah.
riders. Officials took them forever to line it up. Then they held it forever. I was shocked. Have we had one in a heat race?
Oh,
in a
we
long
must
time?
have at
I
some
think
point.
so.
I think of the mains. I just feel like I've seen a full restart in a heat race when it's like first lap, somebody cartwheels and they have to red flag. I'm just trying to think of the last time we had a staggered, because when I think of the staggereds, I think of the mains more often.
I feel as though I think we had 3 laps left. Just call it.
Yeah.
We don't need to stagger them up and go again for 3 laps of a heat race. Just call it. We're good.
What is the rule?
You know
Is
who
it
would have really appreciated that?
Max
Max Volan.
Oh man. Well, yeah,
Well, no, because I think if they would have counted it back and
Oh,
finished
back
it,
he
would
was
have been
like
out.
10th or
Yeah.
11th, huh?
Yeah.
But going to your question that you were going to ask, if it's before 9, they can call it after 90% of the race
is
has
it
been
okay? So
completed.
it's 90%. You have to do the quick math real on that, but
But yeah, that's only halfway because 6
Right,
lap heat,
right.
so 3 left
Sure.
is only halfway point.
it just even they said that I think it was RJ in the press conference mentioned that they put more time back on than he felt like they should. It seemed off that night. Like I don't know who made that decision. It'd be nice to kind of get specifics.
And I don't mean this in a bad way. I was actually kind of shocked they called a red flag after seeing what Colby did. Like, I feel like concussions can't be easy. He definitely hit his head, but he just kind of tucked in that corner, and I'm almost a little surprised. I've seen much worse happen, and guys in much worse positions, and we've kept racing.
Yeah, but I think it was just because he was out and he was in the middle of a berm after the whoops as well. So you've got to take into consideration
guys cartwheeling in.
Well, there will be some riders who try to stop and slow down in time for the yellow flag incident, but they will end up cartwheeling into the rider who is down, and no one wants that.
Who did I say? Somebody's correct me in the deal. If I screw up, it was Colby Kopp. I don't know if I said that clearly.
I don't know what you said. Just so
who
many
knows?
mistakes
You
from
said,
this
that's what you
side
said,
of the
I
table.
thought.
I don't know. So many
Colby.
mistakes.
Okay, somebody correct me in the chat.
Because I think somebody else went down too, but it was Colby that the red flag was for.
Yeah.
He's racing this weekend.
Yeah, I saw that. Yep, he's good to go. Past the concussion protocol, I guess.
I guess, he can't have all... I guess it's Wednesday now.
Yeah.
Probably has.
Speaking of Max, who... I don't know what's going on in his mind right now. A little overexcited on the restart. Nose wheelies. Goes down. Tries to get back into it. Obviously didn't have enough time to make it back up. Goes to LCQ. Works his way to where he needs to be. And just somehow almost does destroy a Dig Dug. What's going on with Max? Like I'm a big Max Boland fan. I wonder if the pressure of needing to show something in year 3 is getting to him.
No.
Okay. I'm wrong.
It's fine. Yes, obviously not making the main event is not great for anyone, but it's not like he was too slow. Just things didn't work out. He made some mistakes that he probably shouldn't have.
But they were mental mistakes. Where are they coming from?
I don't know why he crashed in the first turn on a staggered restart. That is strange.
That was just straight
I
up
think he was too excited.
brain fart.
But in fairness, he also crashed in the first start of the heat race, and that is more of a racing incident. So had that racing incident not happened, the whole staggered restart crash probably wouldn't have so it's kind of like a domino
It's just all
effect.
compounds. Yeah, you have the first one, which it happens as a start. But then it's, they staggered, they moved me back. Why am I this far back? How much time's on the clock? Oh, and then runs into somebody. And then you do the one in the rhythm lane. You're freaked out, excited. You land, you cross rut, and you just go kill an Alpine Stars medic.
And yeah, just to clarify for Funky Chicken in the chat, I know he didn't make main events last year, but that was because he was slow. So that is a much, much, much bigger issue. And he seemingly has speed this year.
I like that.
Which means it's okay.
I like that response because I agree. I think he is much faster, much more confident this year. I just wonder a little bit if he's getting overexcited, the immaturity of the youth.
Like, he could be top 6 this weekend, and I wouldn't be surprised because he is that good. If he didn't make the main event in San Diego because he was slow, he started 8th in the LCQ and moved to 6th, I would be here flipping tables, punching people in the throat, and smashing things and saying that it's the worst thing ever and he needs to go and have a long, hard look at himself and sort himself out. But it's not that. It's not that. Things happen. Ryan Villapoto didn't make a main event in the 450 class because things happen.
He is the prime, that race, I'm pretty sure he would agree with this, is the prime example of why you don't quit. I'm trying to remember why Ryan went down the first time in the heat. He could have got back in, made the heat, did the typical, I'm going straight back to the truck. And then him and Weimer was it him and Weimer together that got destroyed in the LCQ star and launched onto the concrete?
Yep.
Wasn't it him and Stu? Or was that in the
No, because Stu made it.
No.
It was Weimer with him. I thought it was Weimer that was with him.
Wait, was Stu maybe the main event?
Stu's the main because Ryan didn't make it in. He gets obliterated on the LCQ start out onto the concrete.
Ken Roxon did not make a main event as a Red Bull KTM rider in 250 West. It happens. Sometimes shit happens. If he doesn't make the main event this weekend, when it is based purely on practice times, not good. Yeah. Because even if shit happens in a time session, you've got the opportunity to fix it and sort yourself out. But it's a heat, short amount of time, lots of riders around. Sometimes it doesn't work out.
Well, I just don't like that the shit that happened was him making mental mistakes. It wasn't other people clipping him. Like, him nose wheeling in that first corner is because he got overexcited and wasn't patient getting to that first corner.
Okay, Counter, not saying I agree with this, was it him getting overexcited or was it a lack of experience with staggered starts and not quite knowing how people are going to bunch up in the first turn? Because we've never seen riders go into the first turn in a line. So if I put myself in his shoes, maybe I wouldn't quite know what to expect when everyone gets to the first turn.
So
but
would you pin it?
Yeah, equally he should have been maybe more cautious.
Yeah. If you don't know what to expect, then you need to be patient.
I would say you look at I felt like it really affected him going in the LCQ. The first 3 laps. So after his instant LCQ, he looked very tentative. I mean, I think he passed Wageman. Not RJ. He got repassed by RJ in his LCQ.
Yeah.
Like, he was not going good for the first lap and a half. He looked so tentative, which I'm sure happens after you're like, okay, I've gone constantly overexcited and thrown it away. Now I just need to actually stay on the freaking motorcycle. The one thing I wonder, like, this is totally theoretical. Wish you could turn back time. I just wonder what would have happened if they hadn't rushed him into pro like 2 years early. Like, what if they would have gone to their normal plan? This would have been the first year we see him racing.
I thought it would have been last year.
No, because they wanted to do 2 more years. He wanted to do
I
2 years.
One more. Well, that's a good question, and unfortunately, we'll never know. It's a really good question. Did you have something else, Lewis?
No, just on what Michael was saying about him being tentative in the LCQ. That's good. That's professional. He realised he didn't need to win the LCQ. He realised he just needed to be top 4, and he took his time and figured it out. I like that. That shows that he has got a bit of, what do you call it, racecraft.
Yeah.
Figured it out? He didn't figure it out.
No, okay, he crashed, but shit happens. What I'm saying is, up until that point, he was very smart, picking his way through, wasn't rushing things. It was fine. I will fight you if I have to.
Jesus.
Should we throw down? Do you want to throw down?
Let's get to our next guest.
Okay, let's
who's
not
brought
throw
to you
down.
by Luxon. When it comes to triple clamp suspension and chassis parts, there's no comparison. Luxon MX makes the best parts you can buy. Luxon's advanced engineering background and techniques allow them to develop products that are unlike the rest, lighter and stronger with optimized stiffness to enhance your riding comfort and precision. And Luxon products are designed, engineered, and made in the USA. Check them out online at www.luxonmx.com. Tonight, Luxon MX brings us our buddy, Dean Wilson. What's up, Dean?
What's going on? How we doing?
We're doing good, man. Always a pleasure to talk to you. Dude, I know, I'm going to say I know. I've heard some of your interviews. I feel like you're struggling a little bit mentally this year. You're maybe not completely comfortable yet. How is the season going for you? Like, mentally, not obviously I know your results.
It's going all right.
Okay.
Just being healthy is the important part. And yeah, I think when you talk mentally, it's just I get really bad anxiety, especially on race day, because I think that one last year when I got the foot peg up the bum really, like, I don't know, I just like have the wrong kind of mindset that it's like I kind of like just don't want to get hurt type of thing.
Yeah.
But you can't have that mentality when you're at the races, and it's you got to have that like warrior mentality where you're just gonna send it type of thing. Yeah, and I'm just kind of, my anxiety goes through the roof where I just want to get through the checkered safely. But then after the race, I'm all pissed off because I did shit. But it's controlling my anxiety that's tough part.
Last year, I think it might have been at Paula when we were talking. You kind of talked about that of you can't go out there and really do your best when you're worried about getting hurt. And so basically this anxiety stuff started after the foot peg incident.
No, I've dealt with anxiety my whole life. But I've just been injured so much in my career. I've made so many hospital visits, whatever. And then, dude, you just like, I was talking to Justin Bogle about this yesterday, actually, because he was at the track and we're just both talking about it because we've both been hurt so much. It's like, you're better off backing it down a notch and, a little bit less risk than, just having that chance of crashing. But you just never know in the sport what can happen. So you can't have that mindset, but I definitely have backed it down a tad, and I just want to be at every race. That's all I want to do is be at every race. And I know the results will come because my speed's good. I'm just not on race day, but it will come. It will come.
You say you backed it down a little bit. What percentage do you think you're riding at the moment then? Like 80%, lower?
Yeah, probably 75 to 80 to be honest. Like I just feel like I'm holding back on race day is what I really feel like. And then I'm getting arm pump and it's a struggle, but I know we'll definitely get better, but the big thing that's really tough for me is that's why I'm not going to race outdoors anymore, is that I have a really bad left knee. So around left-handed corners, I really struggle because I don't lean the bike and I also don't touch my foot on the ground. So it's like kind of like riding on eggshells, you know what I mean? Like, so yeah, it's funny, like they always say like your old injuries catch up to you, and they definitely do. But I'm still riding really well. Like when I'm during the week, like I feel like I'm riding good enough to be a 8. So I'd say I'm good enough to be 7th, 3rd, 12th, and that's where I want to be. I'd rather just be in top 10, but that's definitely where I can be, and that's kind of where I was until I pumped up. So we'll get better though. Just want to be at all the races and keep getting better every year.
Yep, stay healthy.
I was going to say, speaking of during the week, I would not say you were riding 75 to 80% that latest heater you posted from Fox Raceway.
Yeah, I don't know. It's crazy, like how the mental side of things, like how you can, just like on practice day, like you feel so relaxed and loose, and then on race day, you just get all these like a little bit of fear and anxiety, and you're nervous, and then you're pumping up, and then it's like performance anxiety is what it is. Like, and I always try to like go to the race and enjoy it, which I do, but for some reason when I get to the start gate, I've just been struggling a little bit mentally. And the thing is like I'm open about it. I like to tell people what I'm going through, and like I think a lot of people wouldn't say like the things. A lot of people deal with what I deal with, but they don't say it. And where I say it, and then it's funny because I get a lot of people in the comments
yeah
trying to help, which is they're just trying to help, but no one really knows unless you've lined up on that start gate, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I was going to say, ever since you've started being honest about anxiety and stuff, have you had like fans reaching out and going, oh yeah, you being honest has really helped me deal with this, and I've taken your advice on, like, have you had people kind of like relate to you more?
Yeah, no, for sure. I have, because so my anxiety has been really, really bad the last year. I don't know what happened, like, but something just switched, and like I was having these panic attacks. Not too frequently, but if I had too much caffeine, I would have a panic attack, and my hands would get clammy, and like my heart starts beating, and I'm like, and there was like probably 2 or 3 that were like really bad, and one was so bad that I went to the ER. I was like, I'm dying, and I thought I was having a heart attack, and they're doing all the EKG tests and everything on me, and like I turned out to be fine. And I'm like, what the hell was that? And they're like, oh, it's just a panic attack. I'm like, fuck, I never thought anything of that till it was gnarly. It was so scary. Like, and then I had like a couple little episodes that weren't too bad. But then when I went to Australia, I lack of sleep because the time changed and everything. And then because I was so tired, and the coffee is like gnarly there, because I kind of stopped drinking caffeine because of it. But I was so tired. I like had a coffee with my friend while eating breakfast. And it was like super, I think it was double espresso shot in it. And then from there, I went to this little recovery center where you can go in the ice bath and have a sauna and put Normatex on and stuff like that. So I had the coffee, and then we went to that place. I went in the sauna for 20 minutes, and then I went into the ice bath, the cold plunge, went in there. And then as I got out the cold plunge, I could just feel my heart starting to like pump like progressively faster and hard. And they walked away to get towels and stuff, and I'm just sitting there, and I'm like, fuck, I think I'm having a heart attack. And like I was about to tell them, this is like the day before Melbourne Supercross. And I'm about to tell them, like, hey, like I think you should call an ambulance. Like something's not right here. Like I'm fucking starting to really stress out. And they're kind of just like talking me through it, because my friend actually has dealt with this before. He's like, hey, you need to like get up, like here. So I pounded waters, try to like flush the coffee out, right? So I pounded like 5 waters, and then I just started to go for a walk, and then like I had to It was gnarly. It was so scary. And then I went into my hotel room and I just like made it pitch black and just like took deep breaths for like an hour. And I slowly started to coming back around. But these panic attacks and anxiety attacks, like they're gnarly. So obviously I never dealt with anything like this. So yeah, I you know, a lot of people reached out and it made me feel a lot better. They're like, holy shit, what you said was exactly what I went through. And even Zach Osborne reached out to me and like, you know, it made me feel a lot better because it's a scary feeling. I don't know if any of you guys have had a episode, but it's like, I don't know. I've never had like a health problem or nothing before, so it's like kind of scary.
Yeah.
No, hearing you say I'm having a little bit of PTSD. I don't know if you fall in the same category because you said you've had a friend's had them. You know, you hear people talk about it, and I feel bad. I'm just always one of those people, whether it's people that have anxiety and other issues or trade issues. I'm always just kind of the person that's like, just be mentally stronger, like get over it, like man up. That's, you know, I grew up with parents kind of like that, like, oh, you'll just get over stuff. Be a man. So, be a man. It'll be fine. And during the race team, I had a couple but I had one. Say, I woke up at 2 a.m., heart's going a million miles an hour. I'm drip sweat. I'm walking around the middle of the dark outside of semi, just like feeling like my whole body's about to collapse on itself. My lungs are cinched up tight. After experiencing that, I will never, ever talk crap like anybody that says it again. It is miserable.
Yeah. I think a lot of people, Dean, like, you know, that don't experience that think it's BS, right? Until you either experience it yourself.
I thought it was.
Yeah, yeah.
Until I got one.
Me too. And I had somebody in my family that had some stuff like that. And I was like, yeah, just get over it. And it was explained like you can't. Like, you know, in your mind, this seems ridiculous, but it doesn't matter. Your body's reacting to it, and you just, and it is scary. I mean, I've never had it happen, but hearing how it feels sounds very scary.
And what's even crazier, like listening to Dean's explanation, and same that I had a couple of my ones, like a really bad one. It's amazing how long it goes on. You would think like, oh, after like 5 minutes, if you eventually catch your breath, like it should mellow out, right? No, you can experience it way longer. And at least that's what it sounds like you're saying, Dean. Like yours sound like it was quite the episode.
And have you talked to anybody like professionally? Have you considered any kind of medications or anything like that? Or are you trying to just deal with it?
No, I haven't really talked to a professional really. I don't know, because like that's the thing is like I'll get it really gnarly and then I won't get it. But I've definitely learned the thing that tells me that like I legit, I'm not even gonna lie, like I thought I had a heart problem or something, and I'm still dumb enough not to go to the hospital because I just hate I hate going to hospitals. Like,
so you've been to them enough.
I was just self-diagnosing myself. So what tells me that it was anxiety is because see, when I go to the start line, my heart, without any caffeine or anything, I can feel the heart start to pump again, and it's like you kind of get like heart. It's called like heart palpitations.
Yep.
And it's anxiety, and that's my anxiety starting to rise. So anxiety is definitely slowly. It's like it slowly kills me on the inside on race days, just like the nerves and all the BS. But it's just weird because it never hit me as hard as it does now. I don't know if it's an age thing or what, but I don't know. But definitely would be worthwhile to talk to someone. I
would say so. Yeah.
So I think I saw you comment, I can't remember if it was Twitter or Instagram or something about detuning bike setup going into this next week. You know, you've been hurt quite a bit, had to come back mid-season, sometimes not had a lot of prep, but you've also been on a lot of teams where there's been, you know, it's been a factory level team. There's been other guys on it. There's a base setting. I would say that's one thing I started to wonder if that's been tough this year for you is this team has raced 450s, but not really with the technical package they do now. So you are the guy. You are deciding everything. There wasn't probably much of a base to really go off of.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's been a big learning. It's just like riding a different bike other than an Austrian bike is gnarly. Like I haven't done that in a long time. So still learning a lot about the Honda, and it's just been a learning process, and that our overall package is pretty good. Like I actually had our mapping guy came out to the track yesterday and we did some mapping stuff, but I changed my gearing, and that kind of took away what I was looking for, because when we detuned it, it was like too much with the gearing that I went to. So the reason I wanted to detune it was like, so when I pumped up in the main at San Diego, it was, I know exactly when it was because like I felt it starting to come on and Colt Nicholas was right behind me. And I looked up over the finish at the clock and there was like 8 minutes to go. So it was like 12 minutes in. And that's when it was, and then from there on, it was just like progressively getting worse, right? So I felt it when I was exiting the corners. It just like, exiting the corners, it just felt so like gnarly. Like with my arm pump, it was like I was holding on to a bull.
Right.
So, right in my head when I was riding, I was like, maybe I should try detuning this. But the gearing I did kind of fixed that. And then, but the engine package is actually really good. Like Kenny rode with it at Paris in the World Supercross. Brayton rode it with it at Paris and in Australia. So the motor is actually pretty good. It's just you're still learning this whole new Honda, and so far it's going good, but it's just I'm learning little things here and there as we go.
Do you think the Triple Crown will help with your arm pump? Because maybe you'll pump up in the first main, but then you'll be more used to it in the second and third main, and it will get a bit easier.
Yeah. Well, no, it will definitely. I'll definitely be better off in the Triple Crown, but I have a plan going in. Because obviously after the weekend we had a meeting and talked about what are we going to fix and what are we going to do about it, come up with a solution. And I just think I muck about too much in practice. I roll around, I'll do a fast lap, roll around, do another fast lap, roll around, do a fast lap, mess that lap up, roll like too much lollygagging. So what I'm going to do now in free practice, I'm just going to mow the whole time and just try and get as pumped up as I can. And then same as in the first qualifier, because lately the first qualifiers are always slower because the track's really rutty. So just try and like do like as many laps as I can consecutively and find a flow and do laps. And then this last qualifier, put in some good qualifying laps. And then that's just for the race, So, Triple Crowns I'm always better off because it's like you just need to flush your arms out the once. And at the race, I get that in the heat race, but then it's only 6 minutes in the heat race where in the Triple Crowns you have 3 12-minuters. So I get better as I go for sure.
Dean Wilson brought to you tonight by LuxonMX.com. Visit LuxonMX.com. Use promo code MotoXPod to save. You've talked a bunch about the arm pump and, of course, the detuning of the bike and the power of the bike. Do you feel like the arm pump may be equally or primarily because of the bike or because of the mental side or a little of both?
The arm pump?
Yeah. What do you think contributes to the arm pump the most?
I don't know. I've always gone arm pump, even PC days. The best thing I ever did was I went and got the surgery back in 2018. And it worked really good. 2019 was a good year. Like it worked good for like a year, and then it kind of faded off. But I think I think a lot of it can be bike setup. I'm still struggling with suspension. That's kind of something I'm constantly working on. I think suspension can be a big deal, and then I think also just getting a good start and not being in the back and always having to try and catch up because my starts are. It's like if you have a bad heat race, you're on the outside of the gate, and then you're lining up next to 15 gnarly dudes. Like 450 class is insane. So it's important to get that start, and then just you kind of like hook on to someone in front of you. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So.
How about the fact of being a new dad? Does that have any effect? Because we hear guys say, "Oh, now I'm doing it for my kid," or "Now I'm thinking about, I don't want to be injured because of my kid," or whatever. Does having your child at the race have any effect on your race?
For me, not really. I still have the same mentality, and I don't know. He came to the race at San Diego, and it was really cool. Like I enjoyed having him there. I think once he gets a little bit older, it's probably cooler because he probably understands it more, But right now, like obviously he's just a newborn. But I've heard people say that, and I still feel kind of the same. To be fair.
Okay.
Question on bike setup. Of course, a lot of people saw Ken Roxon's performance, particularly at Paris Supercross. Did you ever try Kenny's base setting? And then I believe since then, you're working with Scott at Bennett Showa directly instead of FC, correct?
Yeah.
Did
I try base setting on what exactly?
What he did Paris on. There was somebody in the comments section actually asking that if you had tried Kenny's setup.
Like the engine package or
engine suspension, basically his whole base setting. If you ever tried that,
no, his engine package is what I have in my bike now. But suspension is obviously different because I'm sure, and that was factory connection. So, yeah, I just think suspension is. I was talking to Todd Brown, my suspension guy from last year, and he says dialing in suspension for me is really hard because I'm 190 pounds, and so I charge the rhythms really hard. I hit everything really hard. So like I really compress the suspension hard in the middle of the rhythm. So trying to have that hold up, a little bit more hold up in the rhythms is a tough thing to do when you're kind of looking for things in certain other areas of the track as well. So it's hard to really dial it in for the bigger guys because, you know, I think the only really guy my size is Mookie. Me and Mookie, you know, like everyone else is pretty light. So, you know, I always just feel like I'm on the soft side a lot, which hurts me in the rhythms. I just feel like if you don't downside the rhythm perfect, then if you land a little bit too far, then it really bottoms out, you know? So, but yeah, I'm running the same package engine-wise and gearing as what Kenny had at Paris.
Hey, Dean, I just thought of this. Yeah, thank you. First of all, at San Diego, you were nice enough to visit with my dad for a minute, and I mentioned when I was introducing you that this was probably your last Supercross year, and your response was, we'll see, or something along those lines. Has anything changed, or is there a possibility you may keep doing this on the AMA side?
We'll see. We'll see how the year goes. I haven't really said it as my last year because I could really get the ball rolling and start feeling really comfortable. And, you know, it's also really important on my knee too. Like if my knee feels good, because that's the biggest thing. So, yeah, we'll see how it goes. I have a 2-year contract with Firepower Honda. So, we'll see how it goes. I have an option for the second year, but, that's what I told Reeve. I was like, Reeve, let me see how I feel this year, like, and then we'll see. But I just want to focus on this year, and you know, it's the 450 class. Like, it's just, you know how gnarly of a class it is, and if you're not at 100%, which I'm not already, it's just like, it's a dangerous sport, and it's gnarly to like be out there, and if you're not. It's hard. What I'm pretty much trying to say is it's really hard to take mentally getting your ass beat.
Sure.
18 pounds. When you're not just at your best, when you know you can be better, but your body kind of gives you that. You know what I mean? So, yeah. But we'll see how it goes this year.
Okay.
Oh, I hear your little
We hear
one.
the baby.
I was gonna say that was actually my last one for you. Was gonna be the baby is. With everything you got going on, the anxiety, a toughness race, is it how's dad life being able to come home to that? Does that kind of take all the worries away and wash away all anything you're dealing with?
Oh yeah, no, it's really cool. Like, you know, just I kind of like came into the dad world thing very like blind, I guess you could say. Like, I didn't really know what to expect or how it would be, but it's been awesome so far, and I'm really enjoying it. And like, I come back from the track, and it's just so cool just to hang with him and seeing him. You know, you just get to watch him every day. You get a little bit something different, a little bit more personality, more smiles, and it's really cool. So I'm enjoying it. And also, Sarah's a really good mom, and she holds a lot of the weight while I'm training and riding. And yeah, it's a team effort for sure. But he's really good at nighttime when he sleeps. Like, he's got a decent sleeping schedule already, which we're lucky for that. But, oh, man, like, I don't know how people have, like, 4 or 5 kids.
Dude, Chiz just had his third one. What is going on?
Oh, man, that's gnarly.
Clippy.
Yeah.
Clippy.
Yeah. Brittany, every time I talk to Brittany, she's like, I want more. It's crazy. Or no, you know what? I take that back. She said Chiz wanted more. That's what she told me. Yeah. Wild. I don't know. That's a mental thing. Dino, we've had enough of your time, man. Get back to your family. We'll see you this weekend, and thanks for coming on.
Thank you. Thanks for having me, guys. Appreciate it.
All right, Dino. Take care, bud. See you.
All right. Cheers.
Thanks to Dean Wilson for coming on. Always a good interview. I love Dean. He's just a good guy. He just came on the show like a month and a half ago, and he just almost always says yes. Why you agree? Why you agree?
I've got 2 things to raise.
Okay.
One for each of you.
Yep.
Who would like to go first?
You
Go ahead.
Michael. Dean, I can't remember if I saw you tweet it or on Instagram, but something about you detuning your bike. That was a Vital MX interview.
I
that
thought
was a
so
great
too.
opportunity to plug Vital MX.
Yep.
I heard in your Vital MX post-race interview. I can't remember where I saw it. Instagram. Did you tweet it? Great. Jamie,
Yes.
I'm looking out for you.
Okay. Tell me.
Maybe don't. The very first question maybe shouldn't be like, you seem like you're really struggling mentally. Maybe just like ease in a little bit with like, how you doing?
I wanted to go in hard.
He had
Okay.
a great response.
she
He
said.
talked about it.
I'm just trying to look out for you.
Okay.
Would
I'm
you
trying
like
to
to
look
host?
out for you. He's a dick.
Here's my thing. Sometimes
He's just upset
I
that I
get
didn't
told
read
that-
his interview.
I get told sometimes I'm too nice or too easy. So I was like, yeah, I'm going to go in. He's struggling.
Well,
I do feel it.
this
So
is interesting. This is interesting talk about
Yeah.
because my strategy is I always softball the first question because then they loosen up, and then
Yeah.
the second question
what?
yeah,
Goes
because
for the throat.
Cut him off at the
they
head.
suddenly relax,
Yeah.
and then I just swipe them when I least expect it.
Is that how you got Chase Sexton?
Oh, I haven't interviewed him yet.
Yeah, we got Chase Sexton. What are you talking about? That was all because of us.
But no, just two observations from over here in the
Okay.
corner.
I'll take that. with
Just
a-
looking out for you,
a
my
grain of
friend.
salt.
Oh,
Let's get back to.
I like how you turned in his friend. I'm just a dick.
I
mean, you're
not
a dick,
supporting Vital
you
MX
know?
like the rest of us.
Yeah. I did think that was I thought that when he said it, I was like, I read that on Vital, but
Yeah.
maybe Vital stole
I
it from
spaced.
Twitter.
Clearly, waste of my time.
That was like one of the things I would have said. Let's jump back to some general topics. We'll start wrapping this thing up. RJ Hampshire, super impressed. I was super impressed with how he came with the last 6 minutes of that main event, how he came from pretty far back to catch McAdoo, charging hard. The guy is, I mean, he's always been fast, but right now it just seems like he's got it together. He's not losing control of the bike. I was very impressed that he caught McAdoo that fast. That's 2 weeks in a row, or 2 races in a row.
Counter.
Oh boy, here we go. Counter.
Enzo Lopes was fourth.
What's
so
that? Yeah.
So I feel like for RJ, anything less than third would be like a disaster.
Okay.
So I think the part
That's
of that.
strong.
What do you mean?
That's a little strong.
What-
Enzo-
Well, wouldn't it be? No, I agree with him.
So like I feel like okay, he's having a great start to the season, his best ever, but also I feel like maybe the field has something to
But
do with
I'm
that.
just talking about how quick he caught. Like Cameron McAdoo with that gap should have been able to maintain that gap.
I agree with that, but I would almost talk about that as a negative on Cameron more than a positive on
Okay.
RJ. If you get what I'm saying, like I would almost put that down to Cameron struggling and why, rather than RJ stepping up and why.
I'd go both ways. I think
bet
RJ
you
is
would.
riding. As soon as I
He said
walked,
he'd go both
I
ways.
walked right into that one. I would go with both on that. I do think RJ is riding some of the best we've seen him in Supercross, and Cameron is puzzling me right now because when I think of Cameron, I think of a dude that does a ton of laps of the track, hard worker, and watching him kind of fade in the middle, late portion of the race has got me scratching my head a little bit.
Yeah, there's got to be a reason. It's too consistent. The same thing has happened 2 weeks in a row, so there's got to be a reason for it. Has to. I mean, it may. Well, actually,
Sounds like you need to go find out.
Cameron has dropped back at the midway point of each main event so
Right.
far this year.
Yes.
But he's been really strong in the beginnings.
Yeah.
Like challenging Jet strong.
Maybe we should text Nick.
Triple crown. Cameron. Catch a fever?
I can see it. You think Jet? What's the percent pie that Jet does not win the overall at A2?
What, as in like chances of it happening?
90? Is he 100% to win or like?
98.
Ooh.
I do think if there's any chance he loses a main of the year, not the overall, it would be possibly a triple crown
Yeah.
because it's a short enough race
Yep.
that a Cameron RJ, if Jet does start 10th or maybe a little bit worse if one of those two starts there, they can hang on for long enough.
Like I could see him getting a bad start maybe in the third one and kind of panicking almost like, oh, I gotta go, and it falling apart.
That's what I'm most curious to see is where is Jet at this year when pressured or pressure is
Yeah.
applied to him? Because we have not seen that. He's just riding within himself.
So good.
No real jet supercross moments. Maybe they're gone, maybe they are, but nobody's even put him in the situation that we've been able to witness that. Like, where is he really at? How much has he learned from outdoors last year? Has he applied all that?
Well, with how good his starts are, Triple Crown should be no problem.
Wait, what happened to your quote?
Yep. No,
Yep.
my quote didn't. I didn't say that he gets bad starts. I just said that typically
He doesn't lead first laps.
he gets the lead lap 3, lap 4, but that's now changed as well.
But yeah,
'cause I asked him
he's
if,
definitely
first
my
lap
pick
leader.
for first to finish line in fantasy.
See, that's why I asked him. I'm like, can I
Yeah.
interest you in first lap leader? And he said no.
Yeah. Levi Kitchen, no broke bones. Good news. Have you heard any updates of what the injury was? Have you reached out to check anything out? Sounds like he's planning on racing.
Yeah, just once they posted pretty much that he's racing. No real thing to look at there. I don't know if his head, he kind of, as much as he was stumbling around, I thought maybe it hit his head a little bit, but then later that night he was in a sling, but apparently he's good to go.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Good
Okay.
that he's racing. We cannot lose 250 West riders.
No,
We don't have
cannot.
enough many to lose.
We
that's
still
for
have
sure.
one coming in a couple weeks. Do we want to talk about any of that drama with the Carson Mumford and I guess some posts on the forum or no?
I'm staying.
Ignore it.
I am staying out of that.
Okay, we'll stay
I'm
out of
good.
that. Ken Roxon, Shane McElrath, both kickstarting their Suzukis at some point in the day at San Diego. We keep hearing from the mechanics who are all friends of ours, yeah, we laugh at that because every time they kickstart the bike, starts the first time, but it didn't happen at San Diego. They were struggling to restart those bikes once they're hot.
I mean, I also watched Dylan Schwartz at A1 kicking away.
Yeah.
I can't handle kickstart talk.
I'm
Okay,
over it.
I just can't handle the jokes or the comments.
I'm not making
or-
a joke.
I know, but I can't handle any of it. Like,
Okay,
everyone in the
okay.
stadium
There's
is watching
two-
him kick his bike. Like,
Lewis is about to have a panic
Lewis is
attack.
having
Well-
anxiety
well,
attack. There's two things you cannot talk to Lewis about. It's a Kickstarter
Yep.
and arena cross. Both of them have mentally ruined this man.
quick, someone talk about Chase Sexton to bring me
Let's-
back to.
Oh,
let's
the
talk
Sexton
about-
ship is sailing to A2. It's right off the.
That's fine. I'm good.
It's right off the coast.
How about
Alright,
the updated Super Motocross schedule? I've heard positives. People are excited. It moves it up a little bit. So supposedly now there's just some more off season, quote unquote. How's that affect Motocross Nations, Lewis?
Well, based on the current schedules, quite negatively. But I hear that the nations will be moved.
Okay.
Which
Really?
what I don't know is whether the whole of MXGP will be moved or if it will be before the end of MXGP.
Well,
Because there is currently a TBA the last weekend of September, which the nations could
wasn't
slot
that
onto
supposed to be? Is that the one they were trying to do at Vietnam?
No, Vietnam is on September the 17th.
Okay.
There's another TBA after that, which is October the 1st or whatever that weekend is. Oh, it is October the 1st, exactly. So I wouldn't be surprised to see the nations move there. Interesting, though, because obviously Infront made the MXGP schedule around SMX.
Yeah.
Now, okay, they say that. They've always wanted to run MXGP into October and November. So although they could go, oh, guys, we've got to do it for the Americans, they were secretly going, thank God this is what we've been wanting all along.
So wait, but if they move up there, are we saying that Great Britain would be after Destination?
That's what I said. I'm not sure if whether they're going to move the whole of MXGP
Yeah.
or if they're going to have it technically mid-season, which would be bad. No one wants the nations mid-season. We tried that in COVID and it was terrible. So yeah, interested to see what happens with that. I would still be surprised to see them move it because we're in January. People have booked. I've booked hotels. People I'm sure have booked flights.
Yep.
100% they would have sold a lot of tickets, and I'm sure some people wouldn't be able to go if it moves dates. But they also have no choice because there's no way that they can run it on October the 22nd when the Americans will be finished a month earlier. Funniest thing about this is finally, with the way the SMX calendar is now structured, the American schedule works perfectly for the traditional nations date. Because if it was a traditional nations date last weekend of September, the American season would finish the week before and it would be perfect. But now it's all skew whiff and it doesn't work again.
The other thing it does, at least for American contracts, is by the SMX Cup moving up. Now it works where guys' contracts end on their normal date because usually it's the last day of September, first day of October is your new contract. So that works out for a lot of those. Any of the guys that are looking at changing teams or have deals kind of in the work to move. But where it does throw it into, even though we would only be 3 riders from our country, if any of those 3 riders, and one of them is rumored to be looking at our deals, does have something in play, and then they have to wait. It's one thing if they have to wait a month to go racing, basically, but it's also they have to wait a month that they could have been testing their new bike with their new team and getting ready. That if it doesn't change, it does worry me a little bit about who we would pick then, because I'm kind of wondering if one or two guys would bow out because of that.
That's my concern too. Yeah,
It's not just again the time; it's also how it affects them moving to a new brand.
Yep.
I would bet the Nations gets moved.
Okay.
So do with that what you will.
All right. It's time for the FXR Slag Off You Bloody Bloke. Or we'll change this week. Instead of, we don't really have any hate comms that we found.
Lewis said he had somebody who was unwilling
what was
to
it?
go
I
back.
told my friend Jamie to remind me
we're
about.
gonna talk about you becoming an American a little bit, movies.
But I told
Rocky
you
IV,
to.
but
I told you to
your
remind me.
opinionated
I
self.
thought you didn't like the segment name or something.
No,
ML
you said something.
ML said something about you're opinionated.
Oh, yeah, that's what pissed me off
Yeah,
from the YouTube comments. There was one there's maybe two comments that really angered me.
Here we go.
Really
I didn't
angers
get
me.
my FXR read in.
You
but
go
I'm gonna,
ahead.
I'm gonna,
Go.
oh,
No, go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to let you go.
Okay.
Go,
And then
go.
I'll do it after.
Please.
Well, you're both wearing FXR hoodies, so they're getting
we're
a lot of
great
value.
branding in. Oh, and he's got a shirt.
Oh, and
under.
now Jamie's
Oh,
getting
he's stripping.
undressed on YouTube. This is
Well,
uncomfortable for all
we
of
just
us.
got demonetized.
I just came home from an FXR dealer intro, so I have some swag.
Okay, rant.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
rant.
Oh,
Yeah.
we got to go to commercial break. We'll be right back.
Well, that's fine because I'll just do it with whatever. No, YouTube comment said something like, "Oh, the worst thing about Lewis is he really backs his opinions and he doesn't he really just backs his opinions." Yeah, that's kind of what we're here for. It would be a terrible show if I went, Chase Sexton's going to win the championship. Jamie went, I don't think that, and I went, okay. I
Okay,
understand.
my friend.
It's kind of part of the show is I've got to kind of convince my colleagues of my opinion, and they've got to convince me. That's how it works.
Some people just don't like good entertainment.
But I don't know what people. I can't remember what the comment was exactly. It was saying about Lewis forces his opinions on people. No, yeah, that's kind of the idea. It's kind of the idea of an opinion.
That's an opinion.
I think that Anaheim 2 will be good this weekend. Jamie goes, I don't, and then I go, yeah, okay. I'm not looking forward to it either.
Right, yeah.
Does everyone just want me to be a wet wipe over here? Jesus.
They just want you to be a complete pushover.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I just don't know. I don't understand. That's part of the idea. Sometimes I'll back my opinion more than I even believe just because I feel like I've got to do that because that's my job.
You know what we need for a sound drop? The Barsha oh yeah for him when he gets going.
Yeah,
this is great.
I've got some sound drops I need to pull. Once I get home, I'll get all that done.
I just can't handle it sometimes. Someone tell me about Chase Sexton again to calm me down.
How about FXR, which is designed by racers for racers? With industry-leading fit, finish, and performance, progression is the name of the game with every new piece created. At FXR, we push our brand to the next level to provide you with the best products possible. Visit fxrracing.com to see the numerous gear lines and colorways, as well as snow lines and lifestyle casual wear. Do you want to talk about, you're here in America, you're staying in America, at least for a while, hopefully a few years. You watched one of the most American movies of all time, Rocky IV.
Yeah, I've seen Rocky before.
Yeah, but
I watched it again. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't know. In my mind, I feel like
just
you
impressed.
don't watch movies.
I'm just impressed he watched something other than Bar to Bar.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Can we go to that?
No, we're going to talk about Rocky IV.
Okay.
What'd you take away from
we'll
Rocky
go to
IV?
five.
What was it?
I liked it when the man was screaming at Rocky, "No pain," because and also I think I might want to be a boxer now.
Oh, okay.
I liked it. It looked fun.
Yeah.
I think it'd be fun. I might do that now. So you may not see me for a while.
I know a British pal of yours you could go box with.
I've got YouTube comments. I'm coming for you. I'm just gonna fly around the world and just knock on people's doors and be like, right, are you this YouTube commenter? Let's go.
Hey, we could do really well off that. YouTube, YouTube boxing fights are all the rage.
Okay.
No, I like Rocky IV. I like Rocky in general. It motivates me. I feel motivated. I felt motivated after watching that.
Motivated too.
Like the whole
In
training
general.
and everything. Yeah, no pain. So when you bully me on this podcast and say hateful comments, I just think to myself, no pain, Lewis. Don't let
feel
Jamie.
nothing. I never bully. I think it's the other way around.
Don't let Jamie put you down, Lewis. No pain.
Okay.
So on a really bright note, you want to talk about something fun we got to do this week that involved San Diego 2005?
Oh, yeah.
Well, there's two things that cheer him up:
Yeah.
Chase Sexton and San Diego 2005.
Well, Michael kind of ruined it for me because he was there. So it would have been nice if it was just me and Ricky, but me,
Wow.
Ricky, and
I don't
Michael.
want to share.
The problem is
share
the
my fun experience.
The problem is the podcast would have never moved on. He would have just kept circling back to San Diego 2005. Ricky would be moving on. He's like, so but what'd you have for breakfast that morning at San Diego 2005?
No, me,
what was track walk like?
Me, Ricky, and Michael I did a podcast on Monday morning. It's 2 hours and 10 minutes long, and it will be out soon-ish. And it is focused on 2005 to 2007, his Suzuki years, because I have always felt that when Ricky is recapping his career with people, it goes so hot and heavy on the start of his career, the 90s, the early 2000s, the Jeremy era, that the Suzuki years kind of get brushed over. And as listeners of last week will know, I have a lot of questions about that. So we started from 2005 Anaheim 1, the perfect storm, James coming into 450s or 250s at the time, the Reed relationship, all of that. And it was good. I took a lot of happiness from it. Yeah. I have replayed some of the... There was one thing he said, I literally had goosebumps from head to toe. Like, I was sat there, it was like an out-of-body experience. I died for a second, and then I came back.
I looked over him, his eyes were literally like this big.
And,
no, he was...
and on that front, I watched Bar to Bar afterwards with new eyes based on what my friend Ricky told me.
And you found what he was talking about.
It had a new perspective on everything, because I was like,
I can't wait to hear it.
Well, you probably won't be able to listen.
I'll throw one little teaser in. It is really cool to listen to him talk about his mentality shift between Reed being his focus and James and the reasons why in year. There's so much, again, we got to spend so much time on just those 2 or 3 years, more than just like, oh, how was this race? Talking to like how he was feeling mentally against the guys, who his competition was, how he was seeing the power shift between the guys. It was really fun. And for me and Lewis, it kind of fit perfect because that's like our probably peak childhood, like getting involved in the sport. So for me, it's definitely a little childhood, like little kid me's jumping up and down.
For me, I'm glad you got to have that experience.
Thank you, Jamie. I'm glad you got to have your experience in Minnesota.
Yeah, that was good. My FXR experience.
I will say for me, to echo what Michael said, the coolest thing for me was just hearing him talk about Chad, because you can tell a lot of thought went into Chad over the years, and he still has a lot of, the cogs still turn quite a lot on like, he did this, but why did he do this? But why he didn't do this? Like, there's a lot of that. And little spoiler for... Or not spoiler, little teaser. San Diego 05, when he crashed in the whoops on the last lap, he was going to Barsha Reed in the next turn.
He literally said that.
His own words were, the reason I crashed in the whoops is because I came into the whoops with a plan to go faster through the whoops than I ever have before, because I was going to Barsha Reed in the next turn.
Oh, I love it.
And that, if that doesn't make you excited to listen, then I don't know what will.
It was fantastic.
Good times with my friend
When's that
Ricky.
coming out?
I was going to discuss that with Michael, but not too long.
Not too long. About probably like a week and a half or 2 at most.
I've got some thoughts, but we'll finalise that and we'll share it with everyone on social media. There'll be a competition going along with it as well.
Oh.
Yep. So fun.
Okay. Well, before we wrap this podcast up, it's time for the 6D helmets picks of A2. Since its inception almost 12 years ago, 6D Helmets has been dedicated to the relentless pursuit of brain protection. From the original ATR-1 to its successor, the ATR-2, the goal was to develop a revolutionary design concept utilizing creative, forward-thinking technology that would change the market and improve the safety capabilities of the sports helmet. The helmet is the most important piece of protective equipment you will purchase, so visit 6dhelmets.com or go to your local dealership and ask for 6D. I got my picks already wrote down for A2. I actually went Cooper Webb, Eli Tomac, Malcolm Stewart.
You traitor.
I know. I'm pushing the envelope a little bit, just kind of hoping a little bit, trying to be a little risque, after hanging out with Kiefer all weekend, I'm going a little risque.
If you try and talk to Chase Sexton at Anaheim 2,
I will tell him who my picks are.
I will tell him to stay away from the haters.
Whatever. I'm not a hater. I'm a lover.
Clearly, based on those picks.
What are your picks, Lewis?
Chase Sexton first. Eli Tomac second. Cooper Webb third. Quite boring, really, but to be honest, we've seen enough so far to suggest they are the 3 best riders.
You're not wrong. I'm taking a chance. It's a triple crown. I'm hoping for something exciting.
I would like Cade Clayson first.
Oh, wow.
I want excitement to that level.
Yeah, that would be a very exciting race. If that happens, I can't even imagine how that would happen.
Exactly, that's what I mean. Like that'd be fun.
ML?
Chase Sexton for the win. Eli Tomac second, and Malcolm Stewart third.
Okay. Well, we at least got another Malcolm in there. I would have liked to have got our producer, Sean Ogden's. Am I saying that right? Ogden?
Yeah.
Ogden's picks, but he's still a little under the weather. We're going to get him on the show real soon. He is making this look awesome. If you guys are watching on YouTube, killing it with all the overlays and video and pictures. It's awesome. I hope my guy, Scotty T, can even remotely keep up.
Speaking of things that aren't on this show.
Yeah.
Seeing as we're wrapping it up, I have some constructive criticism.
Oh, again?
Not much Chase Sexton talk tonight.
Except for the random
do we
comments all the time to cheer you up.
Do we need a Chase Sexton segment?
No, I just feel like we discussed Kenny kicking his bike.
Yeah.
But we didn't discuss Sexton's night and his crash and heat and everything. Just as an observer, I feel like everyone in the world would have enjoyed some Chase Sexton talk.
How do you feel about Chase Sexton at San Diego?
It was a great night. There was nothing wrong with it at all.
Perfect.
And there was nothing wrong with it at all. That's all I've got to say. We're rolling into Angel Stadium.
Angel Stadium A2 coming up this weekend. Looking forward to just a few days away. I'm going to wrap this thing up because I have to go find my wallet. So I want to thank our sponsors, Racetech, Boyson, X Brand, Guts Racing, FXR, 6D, WUSA, Motul, Luxon, Prox. I feel like I'm missing one.
I've got another constructive criticism.
Jesus, flipping paper.
I've got another constructive criticism. Maybe just write a list for these moments instead of like shuffling through all the papers.
Not a bad point.
Thank you.
Thank you, Lewis. I think that's going to be a wrap. We're out. We'll be back next week. I will probably be back in Texas. Why is that not playing?
You have it muted.
Your board is so different than mine.
You have the wrong. You unmuted the wrong channel.
This is so different than my board. We're out. Thanks.